Good evening and welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited that you came out this evening to our first Delmar Main Street Initiative meeting. Give yourselves a big hand. So before we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to some of the stakeholders along the Delmar corridor. Maxine Clark from the Delmar Divine, John Nix from Nix Legacy. We're here tonight for the courtesy of Doug Auer of Third Degree Glass. We have several other stakeholders along Delmar. We also want to thank our partners at Washington University for making this happen tonight. The purpose of the Missouri Urban Main Initiative is to help local leadership bring sustainable growth back to the traditional neighborhoods and commercial districts. Today's agenda, 6 o'clock, was dinner and networking, 6:40, welcome and opening remarks, 6:45, introduction of speakers, 6:50, St. Louis Main Street designation, 7:15, role and commitment from the city, 7:25, questions, 7:55, next steps, and 8 o'clock, thank you for coming. Here we go. Again, congratulations. Today is a celebration. We are celebrating our past, our present, and most importantly, our future. How did we get here? This opportunity, how are we here, or why are we here tonight, and what's next?
Good evening. I am Karen Bodie Baxter, and I'm a board member of the Missouri Main Street Connection, a statewide organization that works with each of the local community programs. Missouri Main Street is an approach that has been tested and tried around the nation. In a way, it's a very unique approach, but it's a comprehensive, historic preservation-based approach to economic development, and it provides a strategy and focus for leveraging existing social, economic, physical, and cultural assets in your district to energize community revitalization effort and to help manage the success over the long term. The approach leads to tangible outcomes. Very tangible. Number of jobs increased, number of new businesses, all sorts of things that show the success of utilizing this approach. And we're so glad that we're able to bring this and work with the Delmar Main Street Initiative as one of the first 3 programs in the city of St. Louis. The approach will provide training and working with a board of directors and local people to figure out long-term objectives, but also short-term projects and activities that can be done to the commercial core to create a sense of enthusiasm about the community. And you've got a great commercial area here on Delmar, and I think it is just going to be a really positive input into this program. Main Street approach it's centered around a series of transformation strategies. It's a 4-point approach that they have used for over 40 years now. And it's like the 4 wheels on the bus. It's comprehensive in the sense that you have all of these things that are kind of organizational that you're thinking about in terms of organizing and your work planning, figuring out the goals and the programs that you want to get engaged in. It's also economic vitality of figuring out the outcomes and the measurements for determining your success, but also figuring out what it is that you need or could attract in the district, or how you can leverage investment into this district. Third point is design, which is the visual character of the district, and the vitality that you see in the vision of what this area could be and will be in the future. And then the 4th point is promotion. The marketing, changing the image of this area It's already starting to change places like this building. So, you know, this is part of that. It's this whole transformational series of 4 points to help organize you and your own local organization to move forward with the revitalization of this area. There we go. All right, pretty picture. This is the board of directors as well as the staff of Missouri Main Street, taken pre-COVID, as you can see, because we all didn't have our masks on. But you will, after you have set up, done some of the basics for your organization, in October, Gayla Roten, who is the executive director for Missouri Main Street Connection, and Keith Wenge, who is one of the principal members of the staff, will be here working with Delmar Main Street Initiative to help you with your planning and your goals and your objectives for the program. Okay? Missouri Main Street was going to be helping. This is like a 3-year commitment, and to get you off the ground and rolling. The program shouldn't end in 3 years, but this is just to get you 3 years getting started. So we want to be able to help you preserve the unique, historic, and visually attractive architecture that you have in this district. As a preservationist, you know, my focus is always on the beautiful visual buildings that we have, the historic buildings and the architecture, but that's only one aspect of it. Create a more walkable, friendly, and vibrant business district and attractions within this district. Expand on the mix of uses, activities, and even the consumers who are coming into this district and using the businesses in this area. Create a stronger tax base that attracts new businesses and creates jobs. Become a center of activity and community life for residents and businesses, and help us as a district to prioritize the improvement plans and to help you secure funding to get those plans put into action, and to attract new opportunities for public-private partnerships. So, you know, that's a really enthusiastic approach to looking at what we hope that you will be able to accomplish and get you off the ground started in this first 3 years. Okay.
So, secrets of successful communities. Develop a shared vision for the future. Inventory local and regional assets. Build plans around enhancements of assets. Use education incentives, partnerships, and voluntary initiatives, not just regulation. Cooperate with neighbors for mutual benefit. Protect community character and foster an authentic sense of place, and have strong leaders and committed citizens. And this is Lisa Otke. She is working for SLDC, and she'll tell what her role is.
Hi, my name is Lisa Otke. I'm a commercial district manager with the Neighborhood Business Development Group at SLDC. We recently had a new executive director named, and that was Neil Richardson, who she was talking about. Unfortunately, he's not here yet, so I'm going to give you just a brief overview of what our role is with the Missouri Main Street program and the pilot program. So Missouri Main Street came to us and came to the city in 2019, I believe it was, and wanted to start this Urban Main program. They were looking at doing a pilot with 3 neighborhoods, and they chose St. Louis. They did a lot of outreach to neighborhoods and put it out to accept applications, and we received a couple. And since then, there are 2 other neighborhoods that have already started in different stages. And so we're excited that Delmar is our 3rd neighborhood, and we have some folks here from Dutchtown and from the Landing. Laclede's Landing are the other 2 neighborhoods. together back there. So we're all a little bit at a different point along this process. And so Dutchtown is a little bit farther ahead. They have their organization set up. They have their committees running. Laclede's Landing has also gotten their organization set up, and their committees have started. So our role, and my role specifically at SLDC, is a liaison for Missouri Main Street and for the neighborhoods. So trying to connect them to resources within the city, if they're not known, but also to help get some of the data that is used for the database going forward. So I hope to be out here, meet more people, meet the committees, meet the board, and attend some of the events and help you all along your way. Thank you.
Okay, so Tony's story of how she found Missouri Main. So I'm Tony Smith. I think everyone knows that. I'm a resident of the West End neighborhood. I serve on the board of St. Louis Artworks, the Loop Trolley, and West End South Community Improvement District. So that was my interest to get things more improved along Delmar. So on social media, on Facebook, I follow Dutchtown STL. And one day I saw that they were opening up an innovation center, and something called Missouri Main congratulated them. And I said, what is Missouri Main? I've never heard of this before. So I looked it up, and I saw that it was economic development. And then I saw they had a webinar coming up to explain more about what they were. So I signed up for the webinar, and I got on there, and everyone was like from Joplin and Cape Girardeau and all these little small towns. And I said, I'm from St. Louis. And they said, you know, you may be more interested in the Urban Main program that's coming up. And we're going to be picking a third location in the spring. So I raised my hand and said, yes, we're interested. And so they're like, okay, we have your email, and when the springtime comes, we'll send it out to you so you can listen to the opportunity. So I got on the call, and I think that was in February, and listened to it, and very excited. And I saw the website. It's like, okay, this is economic development could be for Delmar. They help small business owners on an individual basis. They help them with grants. I really think that we should look into this. So I wrangled Lisa Potts in with me, as I usually do, to help write this. And we were fortunate that Sherry Bailey and Ross Meyer were on the call as well, representing Delmar Maker space. So since Sherry and I, we often work together on different neighborhood initiatives, we asked Missouri Main, is it possible for us to work together? Is this area, too big? As I can be down to, Delmar in 2 minutes. It makes sense for us to work together to get a longer stretch of Delmar established and vibrant, instead of sticking to our own corners and just worrying about our own sections. They said, nope, it's not too big. If you guys can agree to work together, you can go ahead and do so. So we had a meeting. Yes, we can work together and put this application together. And so that's what we did, and we are very fortunate to get it. We chose an area of a boundary, which will be Rosedale to Kings Highway along Delmar. And the reason we chose that area is because we felt that was an area kind of has not seen opportunity yet, and if we can get those things filled in and taken care of, then more solidness would be connected to the things that are happening west of there and also east of there. So the time was right for our Main Street program. Missouri Main Street was recommended in the St. Louis 2030 Jobs Plan as an initiative that will help connect and strengthen the vibrant downtowns and commercial corridors and communities. Delmar is listed as a priority in the 2020 St. Louis Equitable Economic Development Framework. We have solid development to the south and west. There's an opportunity to connect the full stretch of Delmar, and the American Rescue Funds earmarked for commercial corridors. Hopefully next time Delmar will get some funding. We have new and planned developments surround us. As most of you know, we are working on what's called the West End Plan, and that is to develop a neighborhood plan, a comprehensive neighborhood plan to be adopted by the city. We have rehabs of historic apartment buildings and single-family houses are popping up on block after block, joining newer homes built in the past 2 decades. In Fountain Park, directly north of the Central West End, the first of several housing rehabs planned by developer Kevin Bryant is coming soon. And then we have Pearl Companies and also Skinker to Bolivar. They're right across the street from each other on the Bolivar with luxury apartments and retail on the bottom, and hopefully that will be coming in the next year. Then we also have, this is one of the renderings of the Delmar Divine, but we seized an opportunity. The Delmar Main Street Initiative has the opportunity to be the hub of entrepreneurship and wealth creation for residents and local business owners, especially minority-owned businesses. It's our chance to eliminate the Delmar divide. We've had several people talk to us about how Delmar is on its way and it may not need that much help, but our theory was, let's just push it, let's just keep going, and don't desert it now. Let's just go ahead and get it done. And so we're anchored by such developments as the Delmar Divine. The Delmar Corridor can provide direct access to business innovation and social services aimed at linking neighborhood residents to wealth-building opportunities. Jerry?
She took my slides, sorry. So the Delmar Divine Main Street Initiative stakeholders and supporters, we could not have done it without you, are the Skinker to Bolivar Housing Corporation, the West End South SID, the Loop Trolley, STL Artworks, Third Degree Glass Factory, the Craft Alliance, the Delmar Divine, SLACO, Community Builders, Network of Metropolitan St. Louis, Locks of Glory, West End Neighbors, Greater St. Louis, Inc., SLDC, the Magic House at Maid, Washington University Medical Center, the Exodus Art Gallery, John Nix Realty, and Academy Sherman Park Neighborhood. And before I go on, I just want to also give a shout out to Tamika Steigers of Locks of Glory, and she is has the first Black beauty supplier on Delmar. That we really love her, we support her, and one of the reasons I was so excited about this initiative, this is a historic space. A lot of this neighborhood has been around since the early 1900s, and I love the way that we have learned to redevelop the space without destroying the historical integrity of the space. So I just want to thank everybody for your participation. One of the things that led us to write this grant and to participate, because we saw all the businesses up along Delmar, from John Nix, from Craft Alliance, Doug's Place, Third Degree, Tamika's Place, STL Artworks. So this is a way to enhance the foot traffic and to beautify the space along the Delmar corridor. So plans for improvement using the Missouri Main 4-point approach: design, apply for and leverage other funding opportunities through a lens of historic preservation, infuse art, beautification, infrastructure, and facade improvements. Organization, involve all stakeholders in the development of a corridor mission, establish committees to support its sustained efforts, don't reinvent the wheel, include existing plans and ideas. Promotion, contact media outlets, email, phone, mail inserts, whatever we have to do pop-up shops in vacant storefronts, have window display competitions, events, fairs, and other creative placemaking to increase the economic activity. One of the things I think about is during the Christmas holidays, you know how they have Black Friday, everybody's getting in their car, going to the mall, across the river, wherever. Why not have a Christmas Black Friday along the Delmar corridor where we can support the businesses up and down the street? Maybe a passport, you go to her shop, this shop, and let's bring the business back to our community. Economic vitality, work with city officials, which we do, review and interpret current market analysis to manage expectations about corridor improvements, conduct SWOT analysis on businesses and provide any needed technical assistance, group similar/complementary businesses together for learning and growth opportunities. Lisa.
All right. So, I don't know if I need this microphone because I'm getting ready to get really excited. You are here for a reason. We need you. I almost put that sign that shows like when people are voting, we need you. We are recruiting board members, and that is really why we're having this event tonight. Some of you may also serve as advisory board members. We need committee members, those 4 committees that everybody has been talking about. So design, organization, promotion, economic vitality. In your folder is all the information that you need. We realize this is overwhelming. It's a lot of information. It's like drinking from a fire hose. But we want you to have the information with you so that you can take it home and kind of think about which committee is best for you. But we do have a form that I want to call your attention to because we'd like for you to leave this with us tonight. We have given you enough information to kind of help you think about what you want to do. So in your folder, there is a piece of paper with a checkbox, a bunch of check boxes. If you think you want to be on every committee, check every box. It's okay. But sign up for the committee that most resonates with you. And what we're going to do is we'll be getting back with you. We'll also send these forms out to you electronically that you can complete online. And then we're going to have a committee with just the people who are really interested in serving on a board and or committee so that we can get into the intimate details of what it really means to serve with this Missouri Main Street project. So we need board members, most importantly. We can't even move forward until we have a board. So we need our board in order for us to actually sign the memorandum of understanding with Missouri Main. So the board members, a lot of us I know sit on various boards and committees, but the board determines the mission and vision for the organization. We'll also hire a manager or an executive director. We will have a staff person to help lead this effort because we are residents and volunteers. We're going to need a real staff person. Developing the budget, establishing financial controls, raising and managing money, understanding the legal duties of all nonprofit corporations, planning for the future as well as evaluating the present, recommending new people. This is a constant process, so we're always going to be looking for people to be on the board or be on a committee so that we can keep things fresh. Advocating for the local program. I'm very happy that Dutchtown and the Cleves Landing are here because we want to work in partnership with them. We don't see it as this is just the Delmar initiative. What we do here affects the region, and so we need to work together to make that happen. The board is also going to monitor and grow the organization's program and support the executive director. More about the design committee. If you're an architect or if you're a developer, Kevin Bryant, you might want to join the design committee. You'll work on improvements for the neighborhood's physical elements while preserving the community's authentic character and sense of space, seeking ways to improve historic buildings and public spaces. Some of our communities, I want to say Dutchtown had this, but they have a safe, clean, and green subcommittee that works with neighborhood stakeholders on beautification, maintenance, security, community justice, green initiatives, and they will probably work really closely with the promotions committee on strategies for improving perceptions along Delmar. We think these strategies can move us to from a Delmar divided to a Delmar united. Organization committee. That committee is going to bring together community to build consensus and a common vision, assembling resources and leading revitalization. We're going to be connecting with the existing businesses as well as looking to potential businesses. This committee will unite volunteers, fundraising, communication networks to really make things happen. The promotion committee, this is the fun committee. Sherry will probably be chairing this committee. It's going to be the marketing arm. She's already talking about stuff she's planning. We're going to do Black Santa. I'm really excited about that. This is the marketing arm of Delmar Main Street. This committee is going to get the word out about activities, culture, commerce, and community life. They will market Delmar's assets and amplify a positive image for the neighborhood. This committee will organize events, promote local businesses, and develop a strong brand presence for the Delmar Main Street Initiative and the city. And economic vitality. Strengthen and diversify the local economy by supporting existing Delmar businesses, encouraging entrepreneurship in the neighborhood, and seeking appropriate development. This committee will work with current and potential business owners, residential and commercial property owners, and other parties to bring new investments along Delmar. How many of you guys knew that there were over 30 Black businesses on Delmar already? I did not know that, and so we want to see that continue to grow. And we have some businesses here tonight. Thank you, Tamika, for inviting some of the business owners. So how are we going to encourage participation? One of the first things is you want to remove attendance barriers. You know, we don't have to have meetings during the daytime when people are normally at work. If it makes sense to meet in the evening, we'll meet in the evening. If it makes sense to have meetings on Saturdays, we'll meet on Saturdays. We'll have practical technical assistance workshops about grants and business development, COVID relief measures, and things like that. We'll highlight successes from other Main Street programs. There are some amazing programs all across the country. Baltimore has some amazing programs. Atlanta. I've just been exploring lots of them, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already out there working. We want to survey businesses and owners to determine their needs. Do not believe in reinventing the wheel. I do not believe in pretending like I know what people want. We have to ask people what they want and what they need. We will map existing community resources along Delmar. Maxine Clark's organization does this mapping exercise where it does an ecosystem. We can definitely do that so we can see how we're all connected. Maxine is also working on a history of the corridor because of what she's doing with the Delmar Divine. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That work is already in process. We want to ensure that all stakeholders are represented, so that will be in the bylaws. The corridor that we selected actually encompasses 6 neighborhoods. And so we want to make sure that every neighborhood is represented. And so you guys help me if I miss somebody. So we have the West End, we have Visitation Park, Skinker DeBoliver Place, Academy Sherman Park, and the Central West End. So we want to make sure that there is representation of businesses, property owners, as well as residents across all of those neighborhoods. And we want to make sure that we have the right staff person to lead this effort. We have lots of support from collaborative partners. We have St. Louis Development Corporation, Community Builders Network, Washington University, Greater St. Louis, Inc., and Park Central Development. So we're excited about the partners that we already have at the table that should be able to help us through this process. Timelines and next steps. So today is our kickoff celebration, and again, our board recruitment opportunity. We're hoping that sometime in September, we'll be able to have our first official meeting of a board, and then we'll actually meet with Missouri Main to do that official paperwork. FYI, also in your packet is a Missouri Main Street boot camp that's coming up on September 24th. So for those of you who do sign up to be a board member, we already have boot camp and we're ready to go. We have a celebrity in the house. Come on up here, Neil Richardson. Woo!
But no, I couldn't miss this moment when Lisa invited me to it. I cannot take the credit for it. It was actually Otis and Lisa Aki that has worked diligently alongside the Delmar team on putting this initiative together. But I can say that this project is very important for the development of North City and breaking down the Delmar divide once and for all. Our focus here is to be able to close the racial wealth gap in the city of St. Louis. This is critically important because if we're able to close the wage and the wealth gap in the city of St. Louis in an area that is 45% African American, which is one of the very few metropolitan areas within the entire region, within the entire country, that is predominantly Black. McKinsey has a study that if we're able to close the racial wealth gap, we're able to add $1 trillion to our GDP. So imagine that impact in the city of St. Louis. When we're able to close the opportunities for people to have access not only to living wage jobs, but thriving wage jobs, but also for businesses to have access to affordable capital, technical assistance, and mentorship to enter, to grow, and to scale in many of the industries. We have an opportunity for the city of St. Louis to build a robust and resilient economy that's ready to respond to any pandemic, any economic downturn, or any national disaster that can possibly hit us. But we have to be very intentional about how we are investing in the areas, the neighborhoods that have been historically underserved, and for the residents that have been historically marginalized. And as you may have heard my platform around economic justice, it's important for us to repair that harm, address the racial covenants, address the inequities that exist in access to capital, whether it's a mortgage, whether it's an entrepreneur that's looking to start a business, maybe even glass blowing. To be able to employ other people, their residents, their family members, to have living wage jobs, to thrive and to grow, and to create a community at large in a neighborhood that closes that gap and creates opportunities for us all to thrive. And that's exactly why I'm proud to represent St. Louis Development Corporation and be partnering with this group on how we move forward the Delmar corridor to be able to break down that divide, because it's crucial for us to leverage the economic investments that's happened historically in the Central Corridor and downtown to see the ripple effect into communities of color and to ensure they're not displaced, and that the generations of residents that have been committed not just to these neighborhoods but to our city ultimately benefit from the investment that's coming to our area and able to build that generational wealth that will not just break the divide today, but again, break it once and for all. So with that, again, I really appreciate the opportunity, Lisa, to come and speak. I'm very proud of you all. And you know, anytime that you need SLDC to support, I'm here for you. So thank you all for your time today.
That was right on time. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are excited, or as excited as we are about this opportunity. Tony confessed that she drugged me into this, as she always does. She's like, I got it. And we promised each other. We made a promise. You know how you have accountability partner, and they say, yeah, I'm going to keep you accountable. We're going to do this. And we said we weren't going to start any new projects. And what did she do? Well, I got one more thing. Let's do this. And it's like, okay, so here we are. We're very excited to have won this. It was a competitive application, and we can't thank Doug Auer enough for allowing us to utilize this space. This is where we actually had our initial presentation. I just want to say to Karen, who's on the board, that was a very hard application. It was quite thick. We had to package it and ship off several copies. We were literally across the street at May, and y'all know I don't have any sense of direction. Which way is May? That way? We were literally there till like almost midnight, putting this application packet together. The alarm went off and people were calling. And but we were really excited to have this opportunity. And it's not only for us, but it's for our entire region. Delmar is very important for the city. And we want to make sure that we all have this opportunity to take advantage of. So this is at the ground floor. This is it. Like when you're getting ready to start that small business, this is when you get in, because nothing has been done yet. Nothing has been set. This is the time to set the stage and set the agenda and change the narrative. And I believe that we can do it. And I believe that the people in this room can help us get it done. And if we're missing somebody should be here, call them up, get us their email. We'll get them the contact information so that they can sign up as well.
I'm president of the Windermere Place Association, and for that reason, I'm part of the Visitation Park neighborhood, and that's why I'm here representing Visitation Park. I was born a little north of here, and I stayed in the city, pretty much a long time. I went to Sumner High School and went to college here in town, St. Louis University and St. Louis College of Pharmacy. And then I moved into the Central West End, stayed there for a good while, then moved to Sunset Hills, and then back into the city about 4 years ago. Well, I love the Loop, and I love to see that continue down Delmar. One of the things that's exciting about the Loop is there are lots of small businesses and little local restaurants and shops where you can sit outside, and lots of variety of things. So I would love to see that continue going further east. Being a native St. Louis, and I'm kind of focused on the growth of the region. I was given the opportunity to be part of Leadership St. Louis some years ago, and during that time we learned a lot about the city that I didn't know, even though I lived here all my life. And one of the things that I learned from that is that there are two major things that are really holding the city back as a region. One of them is the fact that the city and the county exist as two separate municipalities, and that's kind of a big problem. I know many people have tried to propose mergers, but for whatever reason it hasn't gotten the support it needed so far. But the other thing that's a problem is the so-called Delmar divide, where most of the poor people live on the north of Delmar and most of the well-to-do people live on the south of Delmar. And I would love to see a development corridor along Delmar that would help make that go away. One of the things I'm personally involved with now is you may have heard that the city of St. Louis is going to get some funds from the federal government for capital improvements. And I was asked to serve on a committee to help kind of give some input as to where that money should go. And I don't know whether my voice will be heard or not, but one of the things that I would like to see, in fact, it's a vision to see what I'm calling the Union Promenade. And that would be a strip of Union from the park on the south to Page on the north. And what would make it a little different would be, you know, the ornamental lights that you see on Euclid in the Central West End. If you could have some of those kind of lights starting at the park, going down Union, all the way to Page, and then at Union and Delmar, which is right up here, I'd like to see a nice roundabout with a fountain in the center with beautiful lights and trees, and I think that would be a wonderful symbol that the Delmar divide does not have to always exist. I mean, just that nice edifice there would be beautiful, but it would have a symbolic meaning as well, that instead of getting to the intersection of Delmar and Union and maybe stopping or turning to the right or to the left, a roundabout would say, well, let's just keep rolling, right? And wherever we want to go, we can go. And I'm hoping that the powers that be would buy into that vision. I think it'd be a wonderful thing. And the businesses that would be developing up and down Delmar from, say, Rosedale down to Kings Highway, that would be a nice adjunct to make all of that a beautiful thing.
My name is Maxine Clark, and I'm the chief inspirator of the Delmar Divine, which is a project for offices, apartments, and retail just down on Delmar. And I've been working on it for 5 years. I don't live here yet, but when it opens, I'll be living here, so I've been working on it for a long time. My office will be there. And it's been a labor of love to learn about the neighborhood, the history, and to build a project together with many of the people that are here that are sort of advisors and friends. Well, I don't live in this area, but I've been working on this project for 5 years, and my office is going to move here when we open the building in the fall. We obviously have some things coming because we have the project in DeBoliver that's opening up, and they're going to have some stores there. And then we're going to have some stores on the main floor of our project. So we're going to have a bank, a pharmacy, a restaurant, and a financial investment firm so that people can invest their money and grow. We've never had anything like that over here, and we need that. And then there will be lots of opportunities for things like a dry cleaner, a bakery, ice cream parlors, all kinds of offices that I think, and services that can come to the neighborhood because there'll be enough people, be more people. They need people. So we'll be bringing about 1,000 people will be living and working in the project, plus what's going on DeBoliver, which is another probably 400 people at least. So it's exciting. Would be really getting together and taking an inventory of what we have already, like how many restaurants, how many fast food, how many from Skinker to Kings Highway, and then say what's missing, and then fill in the blanks. That we have a lot of restaurants and we have a lot of fast food, pizza, all that. What's missing? What do we want that we don't have? like a really good Chinese restaurant or a really good Italian restaurant or a bakery or a great market that we haven't even thought of yet. So maybe some gift stores, who knows? You know, like just those things that make it easier for people to live their life. They don't have to go all the way to Clayton or all the way to U City or downtown. They can get it right in our neighborhood. They can walk. It's more convenient, which is what everybody wants, you know. You have to get in your car. We don't even need a car. We have the bus that goes up and down the street. We have the metro stops. We have so much right here. It's really a huge opportunity. If we were in any other city, this would probably be filled in already.